She speaks for her generation. She writes these lyrics. They're from her diary. And now, an example. Are you brave enough to let me see your peacock? Don't be a chicken boy. Stop acting like a biatch. Riveting. How y'all doing today? My name is Ryan from rain-soaked Larimer County, Colorado, and this is Down to Business Reviews. This week for Movie Club we watched Katy Perry's Part of Me, a music doc directed by Dan Cutforth and starring, of course, Katy Perry. The documentary follows Katy Perry's California Dreams tour, as well as recounting how she came from an obscure Christian folk musician to pop superstardom. When I found out that we were watching the Katy Perry music doc for Movie Club, I was a little apprehensive. But the beautiful thing about being part of a movie club is that sometimes you watch films you otherwise may never have watched, so I tried to keep an open mind about things. And you know what? It wasn't awful. Let me just clear the air of any misconceptions. I am not Katy Perry's target demographic. I'm not the target demographic of any musician that wants to make any money. I'm afraid that demographic will always go to girls between the ages of 11 and 17. It's sad but true, but people make a ton of money appealing to that audience. The fact is, in my opinion, if you throw this much of a budget at any singer-songwriter, eventually you could come up with a pretty good show. I mean, 7 tour buses and 16 big rigs just for this one chick? At what point does it stop being, a concert and start being more of a musical production akin to Broadway? And that's not to demean Katy Perry. Obviously, having watched this, she's very talented at what she does. But it's really far removed from her musical roots. She plays a character. She wears costumes. Perry isn't even her real last name. Interestingly, I found that the most profound parts of the documentary are when Katy wasn't wearing makeup, she wasn't putting on a show. She was just Katherine Hudson, a young girl trying to make her songs mean something, trying to keep a relationship that lasts. It's at those times that she felt like a girl I could actually know. And that brings us to my likes and gripes. My likes with this film. The live music productions, although not really being up my alley, are actually pretty impressive. They're not that bad. They're high energy and pretty creative. Secondly, Katy Perry is not unattractive. I love you, honey. Thirdly, I understand and can totally relate to what it's like growing up in a household where you listen to predominantly Christian music. Now, this wasn't forced on me, but really I just didn't listen to anything else really till junior high. My first cassette tape was DC Talk's Free at Last, if that tells you anything. My first CD was Newsboys' Take Me to Your Leader. And my first sort of secular album was Creed's Human Clay. Yeah, I know. Then there was that Tool and Metallica phase. It's safe to say there is a tendency to overcorrect, okay? Going from Christian folk to I Kissed a Girl is not that far-fetched in my mind, alright? I get it. My gripes with this film. First of all, if you're a fan of Katy Perry, I'm sure you will love this film. I am on the fence about Katy Perry, so I got a little bored during some of the songs. Secondly, the melodrama surrounding her failing relationship with then-husband Russell Brand is Although it adds a human element, it's just kind of sad. Pfft, Katy Perry, here's a hint. Don't marry Russell Brand. Secondly, I'm a little wary when the subject of a documentary is also one of the producers of that documentary. There's a lot of buttering up of how amazing Katy Perry is, how she's the voice of a generation, yada yada, whatever. Thirdly, there are a lot of scenes of prepubescent girls just losing their minds, and that sort of mindset just turns me right off. Have you ever met a celebrity? How often is that just totally not worth the build-up? Although, to be fair, I would probably turn into a screeching fangirl if I was around someone like Dave Grohl. Katy Perry, Part of Me, is a somewhat fascinating look into the production of large-scale pop music tours, and hey, I got to learn a lot more about Katy Perry than I ever thought I would know. When it comes to choosing your superstars, I guess you could do a lot worse than Katy Perry. But when it comes to music docs, you could do a lot better. Katy Perry's Part of Me gets a C. That's it for this week. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Please leave a comment down below, like and subscribe. Do me a favor and share if you really liked it. If you didn't know, I do these reviews for SourceFedNERD's Movie Club, which airs every Saturday. Sometimes I get featured, sometimes I don't. It's a lot of fun. You should join us if you want to. Be sure to follow me on Twitter and check out my new Facebook page. And as always, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Have a good one. Just for your information, my family were fine during all the flooding here in Colorado, but we do have friends and family that have been displaced. So if you feel like contributing to or donating to help the cause of the flood victims, I'm going to put a link down below. Please feel free to contribute in any way that you can, or just spread the word. Thanks so much.